and the justification of the ICE agent for actually doing that shooting. I talked about it yesterday in detail, and we're seeing more evidence that's coming forward. This particular ICE agent was trying to make an arrest of an illegal immigrant, and the illegal immigrant drug him in his car, and we'll talk about that too. He got up to 30 stitches. So he's been, still out there doing the hard stuff, and he's the kind of guy that has gotten hammered. There's been over 100 ICE agents that have been, hit by vehicles and all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's not something new, but Democrats are trying to blow this into another George Floyd type of situation. I called that out very early yesterday to try and bring awareness to it so it wouldn't spark riots. Of course, in Minnesota, they're already starting it because Minnesota is a hotbed for extreme radical liberal ideology. So it's a thickness, right? And the Democrats are pushing it just like they're pushing white racism. So they did it for years with black racism. Now that's not getting enough, traction for them. So they're going for white racism now. Just like they go for we had climate change, so they could bring in their green lie, all that stuff. So the Democrat Party is, and I'm not picking on the Democrat Party. Both parties are going to go away, I believe, in the near future, and there'll be some kind of new system that's going to be built. That's happening very quickly. Everything is happening very quickly, as we're going to see moving forward. So let's jump into some of this and see where this is going. We're going to see, like I've been talking about, we're going to see a lot of problems with the Democrat Party, and wow, I'm seeing that all of the stuff that I saved for this show is gone now. I had a lineup of videos, and as soon as I went live, it's all gone. Every single thing. It's insane. What the heck? All right. So, wow. My whole show. And I did that show yesterday, and YouTube is still playing games with it. It's not, it's saying it's still loading. So there's definitely some, some pushback on all this. And I had a super incredible lineup tonight that I was going to share. So very, very frustrating that all of that is gone now. That's insane. What the absolute hell? Wow. So, all of us are like, they come in and raid our stuff. This is like, I think the 8th computer that I've had. They come in and, hammer us on our stuff, sabotage us every chance they get. So I'm just going to have to talk about it, guys. Unfortunately, I had, like I said, had incredible amounts of information that I was going to share, and unbelievable, it's all gone. So I'll try and go into my history and see if I can pull some of it back up. But in the meantime, boom, there it goes. All right, so I've got it now. So at least some of it. Zuriya Mandami, yep. So there was one that I had with Megyn Kelly that I'm going to try and pull back up and see if that will come up. Nope. So I go into my history. So anyway, Megyn Kelly came out with a really nice, breakdown of it. I had it all lined up to share that one. So I'll go into my history and try and pull it back up. All right, here it is. All right. Unfortunately, I was going to have to go back a little bit. Let me see if I can find the right spot. Yeah. Wow, craziness. So Megyn Kelly, she's doing a good job. She came out and just hammered this. I think it was really fantastic. So I'm gonna share this and try and salvage while this is playing a little bit. I'll try and salvage some of the other stuff that seems to have disappeared.
Incident last June that was very similar to what happened yesterday. Well, we now have the video of that incident, and
so this is from the particular ICE agent that was did the shooting in Minneapolis or Minnesota, and so she's going to show. They have a video of where he was drugged by this illegal alien, and she's going to go into a little bit of detail of it.
Confirmed with the government that this is the relevant video that Kristi Noem was referencing. This is video of the incident she was referencing involving this same officer. He was dragged during an ICE arrest just this past June and got seriously injured. This same guy, this poor ICE agent. Per the Department of Justice, on June 17th, 2025, law enforcement officers attempted to arrest Roberto Carlos Munoz Guatemala, a convicted sex offender, on an immigration order. By the way, this is what ICE officers are trying to do. This is the terrible work that these lunatics are out there protesting against. They'd rather have Mr. Guatemala have access to their children, I guess, because this agent that they're now...
So if you heard my show yesterday, I tried to keep it cool, but you can see Megyn Kelly's getting pretty worked up too. So I think this is the way a lot of us are. We're pretty pissed off about this. The Democrat Party is really pushing this narrative because they're near collapse on many different levels. All their fraud is being exposed across the country. Hopefully they'll be able to pull up a lot of that. Going all the way from one coast to the other. In Maine, they're exposing how they use funds just like they did in Minnesota to fund al-Shabaab in Somalia and other corruption. So that's being exposed in Maine and all the way over into the other corner of the United States. In Washington, we have one of the representatives that is virtually screaming of white race problems. All right, so this is what Mamdani is doing in New York. They're trying to go against white people. They want to seize white people's property, and the Trump administration is basically saying, "Yeah, you do that, and you're going to get hammered by us." So there's a lot of problems that are happening with the Democrat Party. They get extremely desperate. We need to stay on top of this, expose it everywhere it happens. Now, they're also looking at California. They put California on notice that they think there's more fraud, way more fraud in California. They're going there to expose it. They're going to have to say, like I said, they were going to do that. I say they have $1 trillion worth of fraud in California. In New York, there's going to be probably a little race, a little competition to see which state has the most fraud. Who's going to get that award? I say California, but New York is going to be a close second, in my opinion. And then, of course, Illinois. So we're going to see a lot of this fraud, which is basically endemic to the Democrat Party, and it's being exposed on a massive level.
As a murderer was the one who stopped him, along with his fellow ICE agents. The guy was uncooperative. He refused to follow instructions. After warning him several times, an agent, who is the same agent involved in yesterday's shooting, broke the back window of the suspect's car so that he could open the vehicle from the inside. The man then accelerated his car. You can see it's the same agent. The guy had a mask on yesterday, but same hair. As he sped away, the agent's arm became trapped between the seat and the car frame. You can't see the agent in this video we're showing, but we are showing the car rushing away from the scene. The agent is on the driver's side toward the back, so you cannot see him being dragged, but he's being dragged, and that's undisputed, for more than 100 yards. while the maniac driving the car is weaving back and forth in an attempt to shake him from the car, completely immune to the thought of running over him or what other damage he was causing. The agent was eventually jarred free from the car, but suffered significant injuries to his arms and hands. Look at this. If you're not listening, if you're only listening to this, you've got to go and check out our YouTube at 3 minutes after the hour. His arm looks mutilated. It's a shot of him in his hospital bed where you can't see his head, but you can see his arms and his legs. And that arm clearly shows the damage of what he had just been through. Okay, this is incredibly relevant to what this guy's perception of the danger was. Now, we'll get into the legal standard, which is more of whether it was objectively reasonable for him to think this woman was going to run over him. But that incident will play into whether it was objectively reasonable. Other ICE agents and other cops have been watching this happen time after time. It's happened over 100 times that ICE agents have been charged, rammed, or dragged by so-called watchers. They're calling her like an observer. You know, like we just have eyes on the cop. You were much more than an observer, madam. These guys are put.
So this term, observer, independent observer, I think that's I think that's the term they're using. You're hearing it from the mainstream media. You know, they have they all get the talking point. So this is all of the Democrat political, mouthpieces that are out there right now are basically saying independent observer. So they're all using the same term, just like they've done over and over again when they're trying to push a narrative. All right. So that the narrative talking points go out to everybody, and then they come out and start to talk this narrative. So same talking point, independent observer, right? As if, she's just somebody out there and they shot her, right? Complete bullshit. And anyone that watches this that thinks otherwise is a liar.
Their lives on the line every day to arrest people like Mr. Guatemala who was molesting kids. That's what they're doing there. That's what Mayor Jacob Fry appears to object to, not to mention Governor Tim Walz. What a shock. Okay, now we're going to walk you through the key videos from yesterday showing what happened in detail. That video we brought to you yesterday at the end of our show was ultimately the video that President Trump tweeted out as well. It is critical. So many of the people who jumped down the throats of these cops didn't see it or ignored it because it was an inconvenient to show her actually accelerating into the cop who shot her. But it's all there on tape. We'll begin with the moments leading up to the shooting. Currently, there are no videos we've seen showing what happened leading up to the incident. But there is a witness account that 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, she's the one who was shot, Renee Good, was blocking traffic, hoping to impede ICE investigations. That's what she was doing there. All right, her wife has admitted it. Democrats are calling her, as I pointed out, a quote, legal observer. Wrong. What's been reported so far about her background makes clear she was there to agitate, and her actual job had nothing to do with the law. She was a poet.
I woke up to some commotion. I heard some whistles going on out front, so I came downstairs to see what was going on. Wasn't even dressed. And there was a car, the Honda Pilot that's crashed over there now. There was a car blocking the 2 lanes of Portland traffic. And the ICE agents got out and they were saying, get out of here, get out of here. She was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her. But she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her the hell out of there. Yeah.
So it looked like she was impeding ICE vehicles.
Definitely, yeah, that was her goal.
This is a sympathetic witness to her. The clip goes on. She's very angry at ICE. If anything, this woman had a reason to lie to make the woman driving the car, Renee Good, sound better. But there she is on camera saying, very clearly that this woman who was ultimately shot was leading the protests and impeding the traffic. across this Portland Avenue, that she was parked perpendicular to the traffic. Now that'll get you arrested pretty much 10 times out of 10. So this is not a fan of ICE, and clearly her eyewitness testimonial is not favorable to Ms. Good. In this still image, you see a federal agent who we believe is the agent who eventually fires at Ms. Good. The agent is being followed closely by a female protester. She has identified herself as Renee Good's wife. She has her phone up, likely recording him. The agent also has a phone in his hand, likely recording her. Did the agent have a negative interaction with these women that caused him to begin recording too? We don't know yet. But clearly something was going on before, and it wasn't needlepoint. We have not yet seen the actual video that was on the cop's phone. But here's video we do have of that moment and what happened afterward. Again, they both appear to be recording each other's actions. You see a gray truck pull up. We talked about that yesterday. 2 federal agents step out. The driver of the maroon SUV, Ms. Good, says, "What's going on?" The officers quickly walk up and tell Ms. Good to get out of the car and then to, quote, "get out of the fucking car." Things are escalating. Good's window is down. She's looking directly at them. There is no way she did not hear the commands to get out of her car, repeated commands. She then puts her car into reverse. And here is the part of the video with sound of the agents making the commands and her beginning to reverse. No! We believe that's her wife yelling no and recording. Right as Good reverses her car, you're about to see the agent who fired the shot move in front of the vehicle near the driver's side headlight. It's video. There's one guy on the side who's blocking the agent at issue, but you can see that there is an agent in front of her. There's one guy on.
All right. So this is where I'll narrate a little bit. So you're going to see him basically walk in front of the car, obviously getting eyes on her, getting her attention. He's right in front of the car. There's no way that she can't see him. Even if she's looking at the other guy, she has to eventually, when she puts it in reverse, I don't know, maybe she doesn't even look going in reverse. And then when she starts to go forward, most people are going to look forward. And so she looked at this guy. He made eye contact with her, I believe. And then she decided to accelerate into him. And this is what caused him to have to pull his weapon, as you're going to see, and shoot her. Now, he's shooting her to stop her nerve action. His life is in danger because he's already been through this. He knows what happens. And other ICE agents have had the same situation. Like you're making Kelly say, over 100 ICE agents have had cars have accelerated towards them and maybe have hit them or have been drugged by vehicles like this gentleman was in a previous incident. So it is necessary to use force to stop someone. Now I saw him after I did that video, somebody said, well, maybe he could have shot her tires. All right. So shooting her tires after she goes by, so he gets potentially run over to begin with. So he's trying to stop her nerve action. So you guys understand that, I hope. When the bullet goes through your ocular cavity or through the nose area and goes into the brainstem, it stops all nerve activity completely. Done, right? Forever in most cases, right? Almost 99.9999% of the time. Once a bullet hits the nerve bundle in the brainstem, you're done, right? So that obviously happened, right? So that doesn't mean if I'm swinging a bat at you and you shoot me between the eyes and it stops my nerve activity, that the bat is not going to continue to come forward, right? And maybe smack you. So that's what happened with him. He hit her and the car kept going forward, of course. So, but at least it didn't, she didn't have the ability to turn the wheel into him even more and run him over. So this is a justified shooting, guys. All right, so he's trying to open the door. He's telling her, fucking open the door. Fucking get out.
It's video.
And here's the other ICE agent in front. Now you're going to see her accelerate into him, and he's going to pull his gun incredibly, because you can tell after this that he's limping away. So it could be from his prior injury, because he gets pushed. In another video, you can see that he puts his hand on the car and he gets pushed. Fortunately, he knew how to like maintain his balance and get pushed back and get out of the way. All right, so here you can see she's turning the wheel. Watch this wheel. She's turning it into him. She is, and he's drawing his weapon, right? So she is purposefully accelerating to hit him.
There's one guy on.
All right, so he's drawing his gun. Nice job. He's obviously has some good range time. I would have done the same thing, guys. I would absolutely have done the same thing if I was in his position. And he does a quick, I would have had a double tap, right? Maybe even a triple tap. But he does a single shot that I can tell it goes right through the windshield, and that you can see that shot through the windshield, and you can see where she was obviously dead, right? And the car ran into some parked vehicles, and her airbag, safety bag, popped open, and that was filled with blood. So that was a brainstem shot in it, and she bled out from that, right between the eyes, probably shot.
Side who's blocking the agent at issue, but you can see that there is an agent in front of her car.
All right, so watch him.
It's right
I don't
there,
know if he gets
black
it here,
and white.
but he's
at first you only see the agent at the driver's side door, and his body is kind of blocking the shooting
he's walking
cop.
it off.
He's fighting to get the car door open as Good goes into reverse. The agent who fired the shots moves into the frame in front of the SUV. Good is still reversing backward. She immediately puts it in drive and starts accelerating forward toward the cop. There was zero hesitation between Good reversing the vehicle and putting it into drive and clearly pressing the gas.
And now he's limping.
By the way, this cop clearly would have heard the car begin to accelerate. About 2 seconds passes between the tires moving forward and the gunfire. The same agent then fires.
That's pretty much, it's very easy to see that was a justified shooting, right? There's other angles where you can see. There's one where it shows him, where he puts his left hand on the vehicle and is being pushed far back, and that's probably what pushed on his leg, and that's why he was limping there. And unbelievable, good for him. He was able to, as the car is pushing him, draw his weapon and shoot. Bravo, right? It's a good kill, guys. Right? Anyone that says anything other than that, and there's going to be a lot of press, because the press is compromised, and the press is part of this evil system that's trying to destroy America, right? So, not picking on Democrats, it's Americans. We're Americans, right? But the Democrat Party, for the most part, is pushing a very, very, very ugly agenda in America, right? There's corruption on the Republican side. There's you know, child trafficking and pedophilia that's happening on the Republican side. It is pervasive throughout the political system, right? So it's Karen karma, right? So yeah. So the problem with this is that she is part of a Democrat machine that's consciously compromising people's minds and turning them into radical leftists that would do something like this, that feels that it's justified to kill ICE officers and police. Now, some of the police, and of course, I think it's Jason Fry or whoever the mayor is of Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota. I think that's the city. He is a bad boy, and so is Tim Walz. Both of them were there during the George Floyd riots, right? Which were horrific for Minnesota. And now they want to do the same thing. So last night, there were, radical loonies that were out there trying to cause problems. Who knows what's going to happen tonight? So I say that the ICE officers and federal officers really need to descend on Minneapolis, because the police department is basically on the side of these radical lunatics, right? They're allowing this to happen. Now, I don't know what the full public feeling is. I see people make comments, but I'm obviously, and many other people that I've watched are, conservative. We don't believe in this. We believe that illegal criminals should be removed and maybe stand trial and go to jail, and after that, go back to their home countries, one-way ticket. But there are some radical lunatics that think that, child rapists and people that are stealing the money of Minnesotans, that's perfectly okay. Now, I think the average Minnesotan is not so supportive of that, and I think that that's going to be hopefully a big pushback, because this is something that's still continuing all the way back to George Floyd. So we're looking at 5 going on 6 years now that Minnesotans have allowed this radical lunacy to infect their state, right? So I don't know. Do Minnesotans want this? It's America. So if that's what you want, you're gonna have to face the Justice Department. So it sounds like now we're going to have basically the Justice Department come in and start to turn things around. Now, I watched J.D. Vance today on Fox News. He basically had a really good news conference where he basically walked through just what I talked about yesterday, soon after the event, and now he's saying the same thing. These radicals are, it's sad that this woman died, absolutely, but she was very, very possibly radicalized by the Democrat Party to do this type stuff, and maybe even paid. So another thing that I'm seeing pushed out there right now is for anyone that is receiving benefits. That's how they can, go out and, riot and cause these problems. But anyone that's, arrested that is on benefits, they get them cut off. And I think that's highly justified. So that's how they're able to go in and do these things because they're free, because Minnesotans, or maybe like I guess this woman was actually from Colorado. So I know they bust these people in from all over the country and, pay them to go to some of these places where they want them to, have these demonstrations and riots and so forth. So maybe she was supported. Now, there is evidence that a Chinese billionaire is funding some of this to the tune of $10 million. Just like George Soros, who's also not an American, funding a lot of this criminality from these radical leftists. So I think that these people, and I think that's coming, are going to be held accountable for funding these riots that are trying to destroy America. So that's what they're starting to look at. They're starting to, okay, blah, 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 blah. Oh, there's one person here that's not, funded, right? Maybe a few other ones that are just, totally brainwashed through the educational system or whatever, that have come in to, do this craziness. So we need to really start to look at that. And that's what the Justice Department is starting to zero in on. So J.D. Vance, like I said today, basically speaking out. Let's look at a little bit of this. It's an article. If you can, watch if you can watch the whole thing. I think the whole thing, he answered questions. He did a really good job of answering questions. Very presidential, in my opinion. So J.D. Vance announces new Assistant Attorney General Pam Bondi. All right, not getting anything done. So it looks like they're going to go around her and maybe even replace her because she's not getting things done. So, or maybe she is, I don't know, and they just need to give her more support. So regardless, within the next few days, they're saying that they're going to have an Assistant Attorney General appointment. He's saying that was imminent, noting the nominee could be named within days to address federal fraud claims swiftly. All right. So whoever this is going to be completely focused on this. Of course, this is going to, go, like I said, to all of these different states, guys. Look at that face, that doggy face. So we're going to see this, continue into California, like I said, and Illinois. And of course, there's going to be massive pushback, probably riots that are going to try and stop this from moving forward. We know that's coming. I've talked about it for years. This could be the kickoff for it, and the reason that they're going to use and make this woman just like they did George Floyd, who that was a complete setup, guys. I talked about this. I had experts come on and talk about it that went in depth. I called it out the day of the George Floyd death was complete bullshit, right? So I don't know, maybe the guy or whoever that actor was, he was a legitimate actor for porn films, I guess. But whoever that was, if he died, he didn't die because someone was leaning his knee on his neck, because he was leaning his knee on his neck on the behind where the muscles are. So you have anyone lay on the floor and have someone lean on the back of your neck. It's going to do nothing. Now have them come around and lean on the front of your neck. Yes, you're going to start to be able, you're not going to be able to breathe, right? And you're going to submit very quickly. But on the back of the neck, you can, it's like a massage to me. You put your knee in the back of my neck. I'm like, that's cool. Yeah, let me roll over and do the other side, right? But in the front, yeah, you're going to collapse the esophagus, and it's going to be very painful and very compliant, right? Because I have done that to make people compliant in very crazy situations. On the back of the neck, maybe you control somebody to a certain extent, but if they're struggling, they're going to get out, right? It's not going to do anything. And you see, go look at them again. I've shown that so many damn times and talked about that. I talked about how it was basically, I think, a bunch of actors, all of them, right? Even the crowd. And I get so much flack for that, but I stand by it. I point that out. And a lot of people supported me in that over the years once they started to see. So they used that to basically cause these riots because they knew that President Trump was in the process of being elected again. They could not have him elected again, although he was, right? So we know they came in and even with all of that, even with the COVID bullshit that was going on, he still got elected, right? And that's more stuff that's coming out as we move forward. So Vance said, the point that Vance said could come in the next few days and represents a direct response to claims that millions of taxpayer dollars were diverted. Of course, millions. We're going into the trillions, guys. Absolutely, no question about it. Trillions of taxpayer dollars were diverted through fraudulent billing and false claims tied to federally funded child care and nutrition programs across the country, and lots more. All right. Now, I've had guests on that have talked about the mortgage fraud. That's going to be more and more exposed. So that's coming. Hopefully we'll be able to talk about more of that in the future. But a lot of this stuff has already been exposed, right? And now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty and see who's involved and see how much they were involved, like the governor and so many top people within all these different governments, right? And throughout America. So it's going to continue to, come back and bite these guys and really take them down. So I've been able to pull up some of the stuff that I was that seemed to have like just disappeared while we're talking and also while videos are playing. So I'll bring some of the stuff up. It's going to be, unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit off from the way I wanted to present it, but it's all going to get out there. So here we go. Let's look at Mamdani. All right, so Zohran Mamdani faces backlash as bus fares rise in New York City. So a little bit out of line what I wanted to bring up first, but so New York City mayor, because remember he promised that there was going to be free bus fares, and now the bus fares have actually increased by 10 cents, but it is not free. It actually went up. Now this fare increase had already been on the books all the way back to September 30th. Now they asked Mamdani, how are you going to fund this? And he said he's going to tax the rich like the communists do, right? And he said all the millionaires in New York, he's going to tax them 6% from the point where they make $1 million. Oh, you didn't do the math, did you? All right. So if a New Yorker is making $1 million, the new 6% tax is on $1,001,001. So if he makes $1,001,001, he only gets 6 cents taxed, right? So you thought there was going to be all of that million, didn't you, little knucklehead boy communist who doesn't do math very well? So that is not working out. It's not going to work out, economically. So I think a lot of the New Yorkers are going to start to see they get scammed. And I don't think a lot of them are going to be very happy with that. All right. So like I said, I have to bounce around because I just pulled this stuff up as I had to go back into my history and pull it out. So I didn't have time to line it up. But it'll all come together, right? It'll all make sense. All right, so this is Representative Emily Randall, who is in Washington State. So she's saying she knows who Congress should really target for fraud, and it's not Somalis, it's white people, right? It's white people. One of the reasons Democrats in Minnesota didn't dig into the fraud was that they didn't want to appear racist. And now Democrat Representative Emily Randall of Washington State wants us to ignore the fraud and is setting her sights on the truly problematic people, American citizens, and the less favorite new boogeyman and scapegoat, white men like me, right? So we're going to go into that. All right, so this is problematic because the crime is, not white men. If you take the demographic, yeah, there's a lot of white men, but if you take the number of people from each race that are actually committing the crimes, and you have to look at, unfortunately, the African American race, right? So according to the FBI, 51.3% of adults arrested for murder were African American, higher than any other demographic. So, and while they make up 13% of the population, Black offenders make up 29% of non-fatal violent crimes. So Randall said this during yesterday's oversight of fraud and misuse of federal funds of Minnesota Part 1, that what percent of sexual assaults are committed by white men? Randall asks. She then answers 57%, right? So she's fudging the numbers like a lot of these Democrats like to do. So we go into depth and we look at all of this and we start to see, that the Democrats are the party of lies and deceit and fraud and trying to stir the population up to another civil war. All right. It's not working so well for them. All right. So let's go into another one. Let me see if I can get this situated to the point where I want it. All right, yeah. So this is Tyson De La Cruz. He is in Maine. So here we have Washington, and now we're over in Maine. So Maine has a problem with Somalis too, right? And I promise you, whoever screams the loudest, like that Washington, Congresswoman, that's where we need to look. That's where we need to go look and take a close look at, where the fraud is. Okay. Why are you screaming so loud? The one that screams the loudest. You know how that works, right? So here's another one on the other side. Every corner of the United States, guys, is going to have this fraud. And here's Tyson De La Cruz blowing it up. Independent journalists, we're cranking on these Democrats and these Republicans, these rhinos, and just all of them that have committed this crime, all these crimes.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. We're not talking about Medicaid fraud anymore. We're talking about American taxpayers potentially funding foreign military operations while Democrats look the other way for years. Let me introduce you to Abdul Ali, a man living two completely different lives. In Maine, he's Community Services, a quote-unquote healthcare provider serving immigrants and refugees, but he's openly fundraising to arm the Jubaland Somalia army with weapons, bullets, and military supplies. We go into full details of the whistleblower exposing this just a couple weeks ago from Community Gateway Services. You want to check out that video, it'll be somewhere in the link above or in the description down below.
Gateway was involved in, there was a mass shooting in Lewiston last year, and they raised I believe it was $6 billion, and most of it.
All right, so I told you guys, don't give to these charities unless you absolutely know the people that are involved. All right, so $6 million went to these charities. Now, another charity that a lot of people gave money to was that one guy that did the Bondi, where we had the Bondi shooting, Bondi Beach in Australia, and the guy that reportedly went and grabbed the weapon from the guy that was a shooter, and he got $1 million. Big fat lie, right? but he got $1 million, over $1 million, because a lot of ignorant people gave to him. Same thing here. A lot of people gave to this charity, and this charity is completely corrupt.
To Gateway instead of to the victims.
So while Maine families donated millions of dollars thinking they were helping victims of the Lewiston mass shooting, Gateway was siphoning that money away from the survivors who needed therapy and medical bill paid. And that, my friends, is just the tip of the iceberg. Here's what's absolutely insane. Gateway received over, get this, $28 million from Maine's Medicare program between 2019 and 2024. 3 separate audits found they were billing for services that they actually never provided. Billing for services Medicaid doesn't even cover.
They never provided tens and tens of millions of dollars in Maine. The people of Maine tax higher than most people throughout the United States, having their tax dollars stolen. All right. Hello. Come on. We have to get these Democrats out, all the way up to the governor of Maine and everybody else, all involved, guys, just like in Minnesota, right? Minneapolis, right? So you're having the same problems throughout the United States.
And creating fake interpreter claims that surged 283%, while refugee numbers actually declined.
We have already audited you twice, already penalized you, already educated you, and the same problems continue.
Translation, they knew exactly what they were doing, and they didn't care because they had political protection. Now here's where this goes from fraud to full-blown corruption. Meet Representative Jaco. I probably butchered that name, one of Maine's first Somalian American lawmakers. Sounds pretty impressive, right? Except she used to work as an assistant executive director for Gateway Community Services, LLC, the exact entity under investigation.
So just like Tim Kaine or Tim Walz would have gone all the way to the vice presidency and brought all the corruption, all the fraud knowledge that he has, that he's gained in his home state. He would have brought that to the vice presidency of the United States. So it could have gone all throughout the states, even another level higher, right? So you're seeing the same type of corruption happening in Maine.
For fraudulent billing. And where does she sit now? On the Legislators' Appropriations and Financial Affairs Committee, the committee that oversees Medicaid spending. The person who was supposed to be preventing Medicaid fraud used to work for a company committing the fraud and potentially funding foreign militaries.
But she sits on a number of boards in the Somali and Lewiston community that oversees hundreds of millions of dollars. The House Oversight Committee, Comey has said her name in a specific document about people who need to be investigated. So she needs to come off of this committee. She can continue to serve, but she shouldn't oversee the taxpayer funds of this state at this time.
Republicans are demanding that she be removed from the Appropriations Committee, and Democrats are calling these demands, you guessed it, guys, racist and reckless. If all else fails, just go to racism, bigotry, and recklessness.
This is an insult to the working people of Maine who punch the time card, who get up in the morning, who go to work every day, pay some of the highest taxes in the nation.
This is the beautiful iron.
So I just recently went to Maine. I was in a LifeWave event where I'm speaking at, and beautiful state. I've always wanted to go to Maine, but I talked to the people there. They are incredibly taxed, unbelievably taxed. But they have some of the best lobster anywhere, so that's okay. Right? So it's a shame. It's a shame this is happening, guys. And the beautiful people of Maine, while I was there, I was at the airport getting ready to fly out, and a lot of Mainlanders, or Mainers, or however you call yourself in Maine, Mainers, were there at the airport to receive Vietnam veterans, disabled Vietnam veterans. Huge turnout, very nice. All right, so very supportive of the military veterans, but they are taxed unbelievably. Anything you buy there, When I was at the hotel, huge tax. When I went out to eat, huge tax. So it is a tax state.
Of Democrat governance. They lecture you about equality and compassion while literally stealing from working class Americans. Maine has some of the highest taxes and electrical rates in the nation, and hardworking people are finding out that their money was buying bullets for Somalia instead of health care for their neighbors. This wasn't some sophisticated fraud scheme that fooled everyone. State auditors identify suspicious patterns 5 years ago. The Department of Health and Human Services conducted 3 separate audits.
So same thing in Minnesota. They have been trying to call this out for 5 years. So 5 years, same thing in Maine. But they get stonewalled by the Democrats. And you can't vote the Democrats out because they steal the elections.
Over $2 million in fraudulent billing. And Democrats did, you guessed it, again, absolutely nothing until the Minnesota Medicaid fraud scandal made nationwide news, and they couldn't ignore this anymore.
In recent weeks, we've seen massive welfare fraud scandal break out in Minnesota, and the fraud here in Maine has disturbing similarities to that in Minnesota. 7 months later, we are finally seeing some action with the suspension of funding to Gateway.
Governor Janet Mills, complete radio silence. House Speaker, absolutely nothing. Senate President, crickets. Attorney General, nowhere to be found. They protected this operation.
All right. So, the same thing, fraud is widespread, right? It's being exposed, and everybody is crickets. No one's coming out and saying, oh, we're going to get to the bottom of this. Of course, that would be a big fat lie because, this has been going on for 5 years being exposed, and they haven't got down to the bottom of this. So I see that I'm getting jammed in my broadcast. So I'm going to flip over to, another, I'm not going to say which because maybe I'll go, jammed as well. So I'm going to switch over to another internet service provider. And so you're going to see me go blank just for a second, but we shouldn't have any interruptions going forward, hopefully. All right. Hopefully it was worth the wait. All right. So this, it's a tough business to be in, bringing out the truth, isn't it? It's very frustrating sometimes. All right. So, we've seen a lot of the corruption. We've seen a lot of it exposed. Right now, we're seeing super flu. My buddy, David Nino Rodriguez has been sick for 10 days. Of course, he's not on LifeWave. So your boy Michael is. Your boy Michael uses glutathione. Super flu surges in 45 states, and doctor visits reach a 30-year high. One of the keys to avoiding hospitalization. So we have to look for the things that are going to make a difference. So glutathione, if you sign up for a LifeWave account during the next
over $2 million in fraudulent billing. And Democrats did, you guessed it, again, absolutely nothing until the Minnesota Medicaid fraud scandal made nationwide news, and they couldn't ignore this anymore.
In recent weeks, we've seen massive welfare fraud scandal break out in Minnesota, and the fraud here in Maine has disturbing similarities to that in Minnesota. 7 months later, we are finally seeing some action with the suspension of funding to Gateway.
Governor Janet Mills, complete radio silence. House Speaker, absolutely nothing. Senate President, crickets. Attorney General, nowhere to be found. They protected this operation.
All right. So, the same thing, fraud is widespread, right? It's being exposed, and everybody is crickets. No one's coming out and saying, oh, we're going to get to the bottom of this. Of course, that would be a big fat lie because, this has been going on for 5 years being exposed, and they haven't got down to the bottom of this. So I see that I'm getting jammed in my broadcast. So I'm going to flip over to, another, I'm not going to say which, because maybe I'll go, jammed as well. So I'm going to switch over to another internet service provider. And so you're going to see me go blank just for a second, but we shouldn't have any interruptions going forward, hopefully. All right. Hopefully it was worth the wait. All right. So this, it's a tough business to be in, bringing out the truth, isn't it? It's very frustrating sometimes. All right. So, we've seen a lot of the corruption. We've seen a lot of it exposed. Right now, we're seeing super flu. My buddy David Nino Rodriguez has been sick for 10 days. Of course, he's not on LifeWave. So your boy Michael is. Your boy Michael uses glutathione. Super flu surges in 45 states, and doctor visits reach a 30-year high. One of the keys to avoiding hospitalization. So we have to look for the things that are going to make a difference. So glutathione, if you sign up for a LifeWave account during the next several days, you're going to get a free sleeve. That's a whole month's worth of glutathione. And you're going to hear David Schmidt right now talk about the benefits of having glutathione. Maybe a lot of you don't even know what glutathione is. So here we go.
I have to share a secret with you. We find, and what scientists from around the world have found, is that if you elevate your glutathione levels, you will actually elevate the other antioxidants in your body as well, such as vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin E, and coenzyme Q10. So glutathione truly is the miracle nutrient. Now, unfortunately, there haven't really been very many effective ways at elevating glutathione until now. For example, glutathione injections have been used for years in hospitals to leach heavy metals such as mercury out of the body, and that has been wonderful because it has saved people's lives. However, a single injection of glutathione costs over $200, and because glutathione has a half-life of 7 to 10 minutes, that means after getting that $200 injection.
All right. So you can get a patch that put on your body, and that patch is like glutathione sleeve is very inexpensive. I think it's like maybe $1.50 a day for the patch. You wear it for 12 hours and you get incredible. You get into LifeWave. It is a great company to be involved in. So Zoran Mamdani's new New York City tenant advocate called to seize private property. So I've already talked about the white supremacy lie that these Democrats are pushing, and there isn't one. So they're saying that there's white. I don't think that's a problem there. I've been to New York City, beautiful city, lots to do. And of course, I won't be going there for a little while Mamdani's there, because things are going to really start to go downhill very quickly, I believe. So he has someone in his group that's calling for Mamdani's newly appointed tenant advocate called to seize private property and blasted home ownership as a weapon of white supremacy. So they're going to go out and seize white people's homes, right? And I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I think all the races are going, well, if they pick on the white people, they're probably going to pick on us eventually. Of course they will. So it's crazy. It's crazy what they're doing. It's unbelievable. So the Department of Justice notified New York Mayor Zoran Mamdani that anti-white discrimination would not be tolerated, right? Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights Harmit Dillon announced Tuesday that she was putting New York officials on notice about attempts to racially discriminate or deprive citizens of their rights. Now, I don't know, maybe there's people in New York City that think that's fully justified. I'm not sure. I don't know. What do you guys think? Throw it in the chat. Let's see. You guys think that it's okay for them to seize white people's property, right? So, because they're discriminating against non-whites by having property. That sounds legit, right? So they're going to seize it because that's what communists do. So yeah, absolutely not. No. And exactly. And who put in Mandani? Yes, I don't know. Yeah, what people voted him in. So the young folk, I guess, and the people that are probably not from New York that were allowed to vote, and the people that had been New Yorkers for their whole lives, grew up in New York, they're probably like going, "What? We didn't even vote for this guy. How's he even talking this bullshit?" So yeah, a lot of you are like, no, 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 and no. Right? So but you know, I guess that's what New Yorkers wanted. They're finding out, right? F around and find out. So they're finding out. How long will Mamdani be there? Will the Trump administration be able to save New Yorkers from themselves? I don't know. And should New Yorkers be saved from themselves for having done stupid? I think so. I think we should help New Yorkers. Maybe they'll start to listen to us. It's like, and stay in the love vibrations, right? You stay in the love vibrations, and a lot of times you're not going to do stupid, right? You're not going to get hoodwinked by the evil side, right? So if you get all angry and frustrated because the Democrat Party is, pushing in that direction, they control you. That you're giving them power by being in that state of consciousness. So don't go there, all right? It's very easy. It's very simple. Stay in the love vibration. And when you hear stupid people say stupid things, you're like, that's stupid. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't know if that's a New Yorker way they would say it, but sounds cool. All right. Right. Trump prepares to bomb Iran. All right. It's if it doesn't happen tonight, probably going to happen tomorrow night. All right. So, and not just Iran, just generally, the IRGC, which is basically the Iranian, Islamist, and the Iranian people have pretty much gotten their country back, but they're starting to be shot up. And Trump has already said, you start shooting your people up, and then we're coming in. So this is a great opportunity to take down evil in the world, guys. And this is fabulous. It's happening around the world. It just happened in Ukraine, Venezuela, not Ukraine yet, but Russians are taking care of that. But Russians, you're getting a little out of control out there, Russia, trying to get some free fuel from Venezuela, like China, right? Or very, very low cost. I don't know what you guys are doing, but you're gonna have to stay in your lane. And we just, I guess, seized a Russian ship. I think we've seized a couple, maybe one or two of them. But there was one that was doing some fishy stuff down in Venezuela. And then they sailed away, and they were followed, and the U.S. seized them. Now, Juan O'Savin talked about how there was a Chinese ship that was shipping some high-tech machinery to, I think it might have been sent it to Iran so that they could use it for missiles, right? And Navy SEALs, hello. Navy SEALs, Delta, we got them all out there, and they're kicking some butt. So Navy SEALs basically boarded this ship and melted down the technology that I guess is worth millions of dollars, but they melted it into a big metal clump, and then left. And it's like, that's the way it's done, right? You don't have to seize a ship. We just destroy the problem. And if you don't resist or get in the way, then there's no problems with you, right? So, but if you come in and you try and do stupid, you F around, you're going to find out, right? So Trump prepares to bomb Iran. Strike package on alert. In the United States, the only time this has ever happened was, during 9/11, where they completely shut down air traffic. They did that in Greece just recently, right? And seems to be a lot of military cargo moving around that area. And I think we're going to see probably some incursions, possibly by the military, into Iran. Now, a lot of you guys out there, like myself, over the years, have bought the Iraqi dinar. You know where I'm going with this? So who's been under the thumb? Everybody thought it was the United States. It's Iran has had Iraq under their thumb, and that's why the Iraqi dinar hasn't gone 4-1. All right. So if you have millions of Iraqi dinar, like I do, oof. So if you don't have any, you better go out and get some. So I think it's going to be soon, guys. Maybe not tomorrow, but sometime within the next few weeks or months or whatever. Those Iraqi dinar are going to go big, right? All right. So this has happened before in the past, and I think it's going to happen soon. So these are another reasons why you should be very excited about the windfall that's coming from President Trump going around the world and knocking hell out of them. All right, that's what he says. We're going to knock hell out of Iraq or Iran if they start to hammer their people. We're going to knock hell out of them. I like it. So let's see what he says.
Welcome in, everyone. I hope you guys are doing great. Now let's get into it. As people who've been following the channel know, we are witnessing an unprecedented situation in Iran. Iran has had protests over the years. No question about that whatsoever. But we are witnessing something that, quite frankly, I have not seen before. And that is the regime possibly being on its last leg. The regime, the Islamic regime, possibly fighting down to the final seconds. Why is this critically important? Support for the regime has dried up. Russia is unable to come to their aid other than shipping them weapons. We know at least 5 Russian transport planes did enter Iran in recent days carrying some unknown cargo. Syria, another ally of Iran, already fell. There are no other allies for Iran in the region. It's unlikely, or certainly appears so far unlikely, that China is going to come rushing to Iran's aid. So we have a situation that is unfolding in front of our very eyes where Iran is more isolated than they've ever been, and they're more military weak than they've ever been after Operation Midnight Hammer obliterated their nuke program, taking out Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. Fordo and Natanz hit with 30,000-pound bunker busters. Isfahan hit with a bunch of cruise missiles. Keep the cruise missiles in mind because we are going to get into that shortly. So we're...
All right. Will cruise missiles be used again? Very likely, right? Very likely. So I think they're going to be taken down within the next few weeks or less. And we'll see the Pahlavi and his wife come back to Iran. So the crown prince will soon be the king of Iran again. And the people are loving it. The people are calling for it. And they're kicking out their Islamist controllers. So here is Goldie Gamari. She's another person that's basically disclosing on this. Let me see where I've got this at. I did have it loaded perfectly. Dang it. I think this is about it. So we'll give it a go here.
Get that on CNN. You're not going to get that on, I don't know, like all the leftist mainstream media, whatever. You're not going to get that there. But that is the truth, okay? And this is why I'm so grateful that all of you are here, because hope I hope that students went out and they started protesting. However, this is the important context that the mainstream media and non-Iranians won't give you. And I include like communists, Islamists, and progressives, right? So the important context that these people won't give you is that even though the collapse of the real is what sparked the protests, right? Within 2 hours, the protests went from complaining about the real to overthrowing the Islamic Republic. But more than that, it wasn't just about overthrowing the Islamic Republic. It was about Iranian people saying that not only do we not want the Islamic Republic, we want our Shah to return, His Royal Highness King Reza Pahlavi. We want him to return Iran, and we want him to lead the transitional government that's going to transition Iran from a totalitarian Islamic dictatorship into a functioning secular democratic society. Okay, so that's really important. That's the context. You're not going to get that on CNN. You're not going to get that on, all the leftist mainstream media, whatever. You're not going to get that there. But
so yeah, you're not going to get that because they promoted this. They promote the Islamists, guys. We have to get rid of the Islamists here in America and around the world. This is what the Iranians are doing, and they're doing an exceptional job, and we're going to back them up and help them finish that job and take it to its conclusion. And then it's going to spread around the world. So this is a lot of people haven't been seeing this because, again, the mainstream media and the crooked NATO countries have all benefited from this illicit regime. Now, one of the things that we're going to do is use this now collapsing illicit regime and their nuclear capabilities to control the world with that. All right. So President Trump went in and basically took that capability away. So now that regime is about to collapse, and we're going to continue to see this type of collapse. And we've been seeing this type of collapse happening all over the world in lots of different countries already. So now Iran, the extremely corrupt regime there, the people for decades. I can tell you before we even went into Afghanistan, I talked to an Iranian woman that was her son was dating a friend of mine, or her son's daughter, whatever. Anyway, was dating a friend of mine. And so I was talking to this woman, and she was like, you don't need to go to Afghanistan. You don't need to go to Iraq. You take out the problem in Iran, and all the others will collapse. And by God, everywhere that I went for over a decade after I talked to this woman, Iran was fomenting all the violence and so forth. In every country I went to, Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Yemen, all of them, guys. So now we're going to take that away, and now we're going to have peace in that region and fair trade, and everybody's going to be peaceful, wealthy, and happy. It's incredible because these regimes, just like here in the United States with the Democrat Party, they steal our wealth for themselves. All right. We work ourselves to the bone while they're stealing our wealth. This is going to stop, and we're going to become around the world. We're going to become it's peaceful. There won't be any more of these wars, and everyone's going to be successful. There will be a level of prosperity that will be unbelievable around the world coming soon. So this is what we're seeing. It's a fantastic time. But like she said, and I've been saying, you're not going to see this in the press because the press is controlled by them, right? So as they collapse, and these different, press control systems eventually collapse because they're not being funded like they used to, because we're drying up their income. All right. That was coming across the borders and, from all these different countries. They're stealing the oil from Venezuela. It's going to China and Russia, who already has tons of oil. What the hell they need the oil for? Because they're getting it for cheap. Cuba also was getting oil from Venezuela at the expense of the Venezuelan people, who basically have gone into a communist system there, unfortunately. And most successful Venezuelans have left the country. Most successful Cubans have left their country for decades now, of course. And once those countries are turned around, same thing in Canada. All right. Once all these countries are turned around, then people will go back to those countries and they'll become prosperous and peaceful. It's going to be amazing. Right. It's very simple. It's very simple. You just have to find the source of all the corruption, pretty much the political system here in the United States, and remove that, expose it, arrest the people that are involved so they can never have any activity or come back and do these illicit things again. So they need to, some of them I think will probably be executed. Some of them will stand trial and go to jail, Gitmo, and wherever they're going around the world, and bases where they'll stay for a very long time, probably for the rest of their lives, hopefully, so they'll never have the opportunity to come back and do their bullshit again. Right. So this is coming. So the rest are very, very close. As you heard, JD Vance is talking about, somebody coming in that's going to be involved in, probably very fast prosecutions, I believe. Pam Bondi seems to have somewhat been controlled by the media. I'm not even going to touch Dan Bongino. I touched Dan Bongino years ago, and got a lot of flack from that. Even got flack from Rumble because Dan Bongino owns a piece of Rumble, and so now a lot of people are looking at very hard at Dan Bongino, who has now identified himself as not, someone for us, not a MAGA, patriot and savior after he quit the FBI. All right. So a lot of people are going to expose themselves. Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens. A lot of these people are just corrupt people that talk a nice talk occasionally, and people follow them and think they got great stuff because they expose something somewhere. But a lot of them are going to start to be exposed. We're going to see a lot of truthers that are out there are going to get exposed for having worked for the CIA and have been funded by the CIA and have lots of success from the CIA. I see them. I've seen them for a while. All right, so they'll only expose how they do. I've exposed people and got a lot of kickback. Just better to let everybody find out, right? As I've learned the hard way, I expose these people and call them out and just get from their organizations get attacked heavily for one, and then for people that are unfortunately consciously compromised, believe in these people, and then push back. All right, so a lot of this stuff is going to get exposed going forward. A lot of these people are going to get exposed, and that's the beauty of the consciousness that is expanding, the Renaissance in consciousness. I've talked about this for years, and here we are in that position. Now, and I see my last slide is unfortunately, it's out of whack, but it is the last one. I just pulled it up. I was going to talk about this earlier, but it kind of puts things in perspective as we end the show. Why do the Democrats want to attack Whitey? Right? Why do they want to attack the white people? Right? Because I know for a long time, and most Democrats, I think, are probably white. I don't know. So I know they were during the Civil War. But if you look at them, partisanship by race, ethnicity, and education, you're going to see the Republican Party now holds a 15 percentage point advantage among white voters. Oh, okay. So maybe that's why. Yeah, that's why the Democrats are going after Whitey, right? So this double-digit lead for the GOP among white voters has held for more than a decade, right? So, Democrats are corrupt beyond belief, and Republicans are a hot second to that, right? Between the two of them, they're both going to go down, both going away. All right. So you see, if you see their mouths open, you just no, just shut up. Right. Just shut up. So, but it is kind of fun to watch them because they reveal, and you see what their agendas are, and then you can, move and on the chessboard and overcome them, right? We've taken their queens, their Hillary Clintons, and other queens that were out there. Who's the other queen that was just trying to run for office? Guys, it's just so forgetful. So for people that you just want to forget, it's like, who's that woman that was running for the Democrat Party? Geez, I just hit the flush button and I just forget them. It's like, oh, they're gone. Oh, good. Flush. And yeah, all the queens are going away. And Kamala. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Blue Skies, Mom. So Kamala is Kamala Namor. She's coming Namor. And her buddy, who's I think a switch hitter, Tim Walz. You see him, and when he had his leather pants on, his cowboy hat, he was dancing in a gay hotel place. Right? I was like, yeah, and the way he handles himself, and of course, you got and I don't care. Who cares about your sexual preference? But it is kind of funny. There was one guy just recently that was on Tucker Carlson, who's a gay guy, and he's basically a conservative guy that's been he's had lots of pushing back on the Democrats, and they pushed back on him quite a bit. So he came out and said that yeah, pretty much all of Washington D.C. is just gay, right? So, and that's coming from a gay guy. So you gay guys out there, what do you guys think about Tim Walz? And of course, gosh, we just go down the list, couldn't we, of this one and that one? And because a lot of gay guys have actually attacked some of these people that are in these political positions, calling them out. So I think that we're going to see a lot more of that going forward. Yeah, gay people calling out other gay people. So yeah, you're making us look bad. Stop. Right. So we're gonna see more of that. Right. So I think that's all I got for tonight. I don't have it. Let me look through my stuff. Nope, that's it. So covered quite a bit. I guess you guys are seeing it. See that nice setting sun. So it's a setting sun on the Democrat Party and the Republican Party and the Muslim extremist, right, Islamist, setting sun on all of them, right? And a peaceful world coming that's full of prosperity, and it's going to be one of love. Stay in the love vibrations. All right. Good vibrations. All right. So, so you're going to be, pleased with what's coming. Of course, we have to expose stupid. And as stupid gets exposed, stupid goes away. All right. And we don't want lies and stupid and fraud and all the bullshit that goes along with it. And the people that are trying to start us fighting against each other, we don't need it. Yes, popcorn time. So, but yeah, you better get your popcorn quick how, oh, 5 minutes has gone by. There's more shit out there, right, that I could be talking about. It's coming fast and heavy. All right. Yep. You're going to need that popcorn. Gourmet. Get some gourmet because then you'll enjoy it more. And you slow. Gourmet, I think popcorn is more satisfying, so you don't eat as much. So I don't know. Good night, everyone. Lots of love. Stay in the love vibration, and we'll see you guys next time.